Once upon a time in the not-too-distant future, we were all quite content with our little text boxes. We fed our machines sentences, they spat out responses, and we marveled at the magic. But, like all good things in the digital age, the appetite for more was insatiable. Enter the era of large language models, LLMs, where the quest for understanding led us down a rabbit hole of context, a cavernous expanse where entropy reigns supreme. Imagine, if you will, the LLM as a great beast, its belly growing larger with every meal of text it consumes. We, the modern-day alchemists, have been stuffing this beast with more and more words, sentences, paragraphs, hoping to sate its hunger for knowledge. But here's the rub. The bigger the belly, the more chaotic the digestion. The entropy monster. Entropy, that old devil of disorder, has found a new playground. As we expand these models' context windows, we're not just feeding them information, we're feeding them chaos. Each word added to the context is another voice in a cacophony, another layer in the babel of data. What was once a neat, orderly exchange of information has become a riotous, disorganized festival where every piece of data fights for attention. The clarity of communication is lost in the noise, much like trying to have a conversation in a punk rock concert's mosh pit. But why stop there? Let's dive deeper into this entropy-induced madness. With each additional byte, the LLM doesn't just get smarter, it gets more confused. It's like giving someone more books to read while they're trying to solve a puzzle. Sure, somewhere in those books might be the answer, but the sheer volume makes finding it akin to finding a specific grain of sand on a beach. The compute conundrum. And then there's the computational side of this saga. Every increase in context size is a call to arms for more processing power. Our machines, once whirring with the simplicity of short texts, now groan under the weight of these bloated contexts. The relationships between words, once simple to trace, now form a tangled web of connections that require not just more compute, but exponentially so. It's a bit like trying to make a map of a city that keeps adding more streets, skyscrapers, and underground tunnels every second. At some point, you're no longer mapping. You're just guessing. And the guesswork, my friends, is where the returns begin to diminish. You're throwing more resources into the fire, hoping for more light, but often you just get more smoke. The human element. Let's not forget us, the humans in this equation. We've crafted these digital leviathans to mirror our own cognitive processes, but we've overlooked something crucial: our own limitations. We, with our finite attention spans, can only deal with so much context before our eyes glaze over. The irony is palpable. We're building machines to process what we ourselves cannot. And so, we reach the point of diminishing returns. Each additional word, each extra byte of context, adds less value. We're not becoming smarter. We're becoming more confused, our tools growing too big for our hands, too complex for our minds. The great contextual abyss. So where does this leave us? In the great contextual abyss, where every attempt to understand more leads us deeper into the darkness of complexity. We're chasing the dragon of perfect comprehension, only to find that the dragon is entropy itself, laughing at our hubris. Perhaps the future lies not in bigger, but in better. Not in the quantity of the context, but in its quality. Maybe the real innovation will come from teaching our machines not just to remember more, but to forget the right things, to focus like a laser rather than shining light in all directions. In this grand, chaotic dance of data, let's not forget that sometimes less is indeed more. Because in the end, in the vast, entropic universe of information, the most profound messages are often the simplest, whispered in the quiet between the noise.